So, the massive news coming out of combat sports world is that Tommy Fury has pulled out of his December 18th bout against Jake Paul. And, I mean, not to kill a dead joke, but Tommy fumbled. Tommy fumbled his biggest opportunity, his biggest career payday, everything like that. Jake Paul handed him everything I'm sure he wants, and yeah, he's out with a chest infection and a broken rib. And signs were going around because in like interviews and even on his story, he was posting how he had the man flu and he was coughing and he was looking a bit sick. But it's still a surprise. It's still a surprise. You can look back and go, oh yeah, obviously this was going to happen, but in the moment you didn't really see that coming. And the broken rib, I think he probably could have dealt with the sickness. He probably wouldn't be happy. Wouldn't be as happy. It would have been a kind of a built-in excuse if he was to lose. But I think when he broke his rib or cracked it or whatever, I think that was kind of the okay, yeah, we're out. And yeah, I know internet people are dumb, and people will say, "Oh, Tommy's scared. He's just running away." No, at the end of the day, this fight was going to be a good fight. It was going to be quite evenly contested, and if he's going in at like 20%, then there's no real point for him because he'd almost be expected to lose and he'd have a built-in excuse. So he wasn't running away scared. No, he just wasn't fit enough to compete in his and his team's eyes. Easy story. But the more exciting part of this news is that Jake Paul will be taking on Tyron Woodley again in a rematch on the December 18th card. And I watched Jake Paul's interview with Ariel Helwani, and I think it one of the best points I think I really liked, even though I hate Jake Paul, KSI fan, let's go baby, where he said like there's fighters on the undercard that need to make money, they live in paycheck to paycheck. Him keeping this event keeps them paid, so I think I'm very that's obviously good. You have to take your hat off for that one. But in terms of this rematch, I'm not going to give a full prediction, but it's very interesting from Jake Paul's end, if I'm being honest, because in terms of their original fight, obviously the small one you can look at and go, it was a split decision. It was an easy decision to Jake, but sure, because Tyron Woodley can walk forwards, that wins him rounds. I don't know. I lost where I was going. No, I didn't. It was, yeah, so it's split decision, so maybe he wants a redemption of either a unanimous decision, undisputable decision, or even a finish. And I think that's what he's going to say. He's not going to say, hey, I'm going to beat you by decision. You're going to say, I'm going to knock you out. So there's potential that in it for him. And for Tyron on his end, I think he's hit the jackpot. At the end of the day, you could tell he was begging for this because it gets him paid a lot. It gets him a lot of attention, a lot of fame, and I think that's what he more cares about than beating Jake Paul, if I'm being honest. Like, any of his MMA losses, there was never him crying and getting a literal tattoo so much to get that opportunity again. When he lost to Usman, it wasn't even losing the title. He wasn't crying going, oh, please Usman, please fight me, please fight me. He lost to Jake Paul and he's doing that. I don't think this is the competitive side of him. I think this is more, hey, I want this opportunity again. I want this money. And I mean, hats off to him. He's got the payday again. And obviously the public perception of that fight was more so that Tyron Woodley lost the fight. then Jake Paul actually won because, oh, Tyron, if he threw punches, then he would have won. Maybe, but you also have to give props to Jake Paul and what he did. But I think that's more because of who Jake Paul is rather than just the fight in general. So it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. I think Tyron Woodley, at the end of the day, he's already been not really kind of a little bit abandoned by combat sports fans in general, so he has nothing to lose. Jake Paul always has everything to lose because that's his entire model of, hey, everyone hates me, wants to see me lose, and I just keep on winning. So, yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun. Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul 2 because Tommy fumbled. Haha, good joke.